Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on the old show today, the Fast and Furious franchise. You may remember from one of our last programs that this film makes just as much money in the country of China as it does in the United States. And that point was rammed home after the past several days when it was announced that this is the most profitable movie franchise, in Chinese cinema history. This thing's made over $320 million. That's over $4 million than the outgoing leader in the clubhouse. So that's why these films will continue on. Next up on the list, we're going to talk about the Mitsubishi, folks, as we got the final edition of the Mitsubishi Evo that's actually being sold in Japan. And Mitsu is actually working on a brand new Evo, but sadly, it's probably going to look a lot closer to something like this. Yes, it's going to be an SUV or a crossover, talking about a hybrid drivetrain performance sport utility. Now, if you've seen enough of these programs, you know that I've got a little thing for taboo-style automobiles, especially high-performance SUVs, high-performance wagons. I think those things are really cool. That being said, I hate that this vehicle could be in existence in the place of the Mitsubishi Evo. Again, now let's look at the truth of the situation. SUVs and crossovers right now are cash cows as far as bringing money into car companies, and this is why this is taking place. Mitsubishi, when you look at the Evo versus a sport utility or a crossover, you can really pile on the extras on an SUV that you probably couldn't do to an Evo to try to make it make a lot more cash. Now, the Mitsubishi organization has really been struggling over the past several years, but here in the United States over the past several months, it has been killing it, been doing an exceptional job, and this may be just the machine that puts them over the top. And if this company gets really profitable, you know what, we could see a revival of the Mitsubishi Evo, because I'm sure that there's a lot of folks inside the Mitsubishi company who would really love to see that happen. Next up on the list, the folks over at Nissan and Nismo have been heavily testing the brand new LMP car that's going to be racing at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which is only in a little over a month's time for the taping of this program. Now, it's an oddball machine. It has a 3-liter twin-turbocharged V6. It's making 550 brake horsepower, but it's also hooked up with a hybrid drivetrain. They say between the two of them, this car's going to be making 1,250 brake horsepower, and oddly enough, all that power is supposed to go through the front wheels, which is really strange. The driver's going to sit way in the back of this machine. But an interesting thing, one of the heads of the race team actually came out and said that 3-liter twin-turbocharged V6 is not some stripped-down, ultra-lightweight, push-to-the-max race engine. It's something a lot closer to a everyday automobile engine. And that's got the internets all abuzz that this possibly is the proving ground for the next generation of the Nissan GTR. It's been a long rumored that that car was going to be a hybrid drivetrain and may get an all-new gasoline power plant. Now, could this be the drivetrain? Obviously, they're surely not going to build a 1,250 brake horsepower Nissan GTR, even though that would be super exciting. But I'm certain they're not going to do that. But very, very interesting times coming up. It's going to be interesting to see how this car does in its maiden debut at Le Mans. Next up on the list, the brand new Chevrolet Volt is yet to go into production as of yet, but official pricing has come out about this machine. It will start at $33,995 US, and that is again before you put a lot of the add-on goodies that will be the optional list that is on this automobile. This is going to be an interesting setup because this more mainstream look for this automobile, is this going to help sales or hurt sales versus a standard kind of wonky looking hybrid setup? I'm really in favor of this look for this car, even though I thought the last generation Volt was a pretty good looking machine as well. So it'll be interesting to see how these cars sell side by side heading into the future. But at least now you know what it's going to cost if you'd like to get one of these. And again, there's a lot of state subsidies and a lot of government subsidies that could come in, at least countrywide subsidies, that could come in and really help bring the price of this automobile down. And last up on the list, yes, we're going to talk about Top Gear again. Over the past several days, I haven't heard a peep about this show. And then, oddly enough, the day of the taping of this particular program, a very large British publication has come out and released what they say is the new lineup for the 3 presenters that will be on the show. Apparently, Andy Willem was actually talking with the singer, JK, and was overheard telling about these 3 people that are going to be the new presenters of the franchise. One of them being Guy Martin. Guy Martin's actually been rumored for over during almost a month. In fact, before Richard Hammond and James May said that they weren't coming back, this was the head-on favorite to become the new Jeremy Clarkson, even though how could that actually happen? Interesting fellow. He does motorcycle racing. He also has a television show called Speed with Guy Martin. So he's no stranger to the film side of it. So he may be a pretty good person for this franchise. Another person that's been rumored now is a person who's been on Top Gear before, at least in the reasonably priced car segment. This is Philip GLannister. GLannister's actually done a television series called Life on Mars. He also does a show now called For the Love of Cars. And if you want to check him out, I've got him up on the Facebook page, at least his reasonably priced car segment. He didn't seem to be much of a car guy. That being said, I don't think you really need to have a full-on car guy to be a presenter on Top Gear. That may be a real controversial statement. And then the prettiest of the 3, and I say this because she's very pretty, it's this lady, Jody Kidd. Jody Kidd, who is an actress. She's also a model and a very tall young lady. In fact, I've got her up on the Facebook page as well on the reasonably priced car setup, and she is every bit as tall as Jeremy Clarkson. At least she was in high heels, so she could replace him quite easily as far as that's concerned. At least she's a lot easier on the eyes than Jeremy Clarkson is. Now, again, none of this stuff is concrete. Oh, and by the way, she's been presenting a show, and she is a major league car gal. She's been presenting a show called The Classic Car Show with Quentin Wilson. Now, back to this. This is not set in stone. This is not a deal that's 100% as of yet. The BBC hasn't made this as official or anything as of yet. But these seem to be the 3 leading candidates for this, and I think they would do a fantastic job. In fact, if they announce this over the next several months, I'm pretty certain that they'll start filming by the back half of this year, the year of 2015, trying to go for a Christmas special, possibly. We'd have to wait and see as far as that was concerned, but we'll keep you in tune if we hear any more about this particular deal. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. If you want to jump on over to the Facebook page and like us over there, we update it every day with all the car news that is going on in the world of automobiles. If you want to check us out over there, you don't have to be a member of the Facebook to get a part over there. You can just jump on over there using the link and check out what's going on over there. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs on the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.